Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. We don't have any alternates, so we can't seat them. Are there any additions or changes in the order of the agenda? And
Yes,
Isabel said yes.
I would like to request that the commission add one application to the agenda that came in late last week for a project at 233 Route 6. It's an expansion of an existing commercial business. The addition's going to be 60 by 120 feet of addition. And so I'd like the commission to take a look at it. It's adjacent to the Hop River, but primarily outside of the review area of the Hop River. So I
Okay.
forwarded that to everybody.
It just came up. Got it.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's see, any communication or correspondence? Isabel?
No
anything?
additional
Or Mary?
communication.
Okay, Mary Kay, anything?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Audience of citizens, we have some here. Who's here? Dan Kapler, Kapler, Eric Elliott, Patrick Lord. Okay, do you want to say, anybody want to say anything before we start? Okay, if not, we will go into item 6, the approval of the meeting minutes. We'll talk about the regular meeting minutes of April 7th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve them?
I move that we approve them.
Okay, Ron approved. Was second on that?
I'll second it.
All in favor, raise your hand. So moved.
I'm gonna abstain. I'm sorry I missed the meeting.
Okay. Then we have the special meeting minutes of April 14th, 2025. I guess that was a site walk. Do I have a motion to approve them?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve them.
I'll
Okay,
second
John?
it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
One abstention.
All right, under new business, we got the application of the Town of Columbia Department of Public Works to slip line a 48-inch corrugated metal pipe with a 42-inch snap tie HDPE pipe adjacent to 175 Old Willimantic Road. And I think you guys all saw that during your site walk, right?
We did.
Any questions, or do you want to add anything, Isabel?
Yes, sorry, one second. We did look at the location during the site walk that you just approved the minutes for. And we have since received some additional information that was forwarded to us by Beth Lunt, the Director of Public Works, and the applicant. So she provided the commission with data on the flow rate capacity for the slip line relative to the capacity for the existing corrugated pipe, because that was requested at the site walk. See, and I believe that that's been forwarded to everybody this afternoon.
Okay, very good. Are there any questions anybody wants to have on that item? If not, do I hear a motion to accept the motion, accept the,
I do have a summary ruling as well
Summary.
prepared.
oh, okay, good.
I'm just pulling that up now.
Is it just being received tonight, Isabel?
This, the first one that we went to, the first location that we did go to is up for potential approval tonight. And then there's a second pipe that's going through the same process. It'll be slip lined as well with a slightly smaller, smooth HDPE And that will be just for receipt tonight and then potentially approval at our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have the right one, Mary Kay? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah,
check.
no, that's okay. I think this one, Old Willimantic, is up for receipt. And the one
Oh, Chesbro is up for
Ap-
approval.
approval. Mhm.
I apologize. I had them.
Okay,
I had them crossed. So John,
that's okay.
I have a summary ruling for Old Willimantic or
Oh,
for, yes, for
Okay.
Old Willimantic, and Chesbro is up for just receipt tonight, if the
Okay.
commission would like to vote on that.
So I make a motion to accept the permit application for Willimantic.
Yep. Do you want to read the summary ruling first?
That's for the other one.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so there's a motion made.
Receiving.
Okay. So let's see. I'm getting a little confused here.
So just a motion for receipt for this one.
Okay, yes, so let's make anybody make a motion to receive that one?
Ian,
Ian did,
So-
yep.
Ian, all
Second.
right,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved, okay. Now we got the one that we will read the summary ruling on, okay?
Yes, I apologize for confusing
No
everybody.
problem.
I'm gonna share my screen here. Let's see. So this is for Old Willimantic. I think you should be able to see that.
W-
Uh,
No, this one's for Chesborough.
oh, gee.
Old
Sorry, it's been a
Willimantic
very
is
long
fine.
Monday.
We
It's been a very long Monday.
all have those days.
I think for all of us.
Okay. I will correct that. So this is for the culvert slip line adjacent to 34 Chesbrough Road. Essentially just standard conditions I think are appropriate for this. That's all I have proposed at this time. And of course, the commission can add any information that you would like to. The inland wetlands agent is to be notified 48 hours before the commencement of any activity. The duration of this permit is for 5 years unless extended by this agency and shall expire upon completion of the activity proposed herein. And then the applicant, I'm opening the wrong files, the Town of Columbia Public Works Department will be assigned responsibility for implementing the sediment and erosion control plan, including the installation and maintenance of control measures, informing any party engaged on the construction site of the requirements and objectives of the plan, and notifying the Wetlands Commission Office of any transfer of responsibility. If the commission would like to add any additional considerations or conditions to the approval, you may do so at this time.
Hello,
Old file.
yes, I got a, excuse me 1 minute, everybody, I got a call from Tip. Yes, Tip,
Oh,
Can't get on.
some of what? Oh, Tip can't get into Zoom. Can somebody send him a email and show him and tell him how to get on, please?
Yep, I'll send it right now.
Okay. Tip, yes, he's yeah, okay. You'll be getting something very shortly here. Okay, bye-bye. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So we finished the summary ruling. Is there any discussion on that at all? If not, do I hear a motion to accept the item?
I'll make
I'll
a
move.
motion.
Okay,
Second,
Ron,
I'll
John,
second it.
okay. All in favor, raise your hand. So
Aye.
moved, okay. All right, under old business, we have IWWC 2425-09, the application of Monica Majeski and David Fusco for the installation of a dock at 144 Route 87. It was tabled from 11/4/24 and 2/3/25. Okay, the February update, the Board of Selectmen requested removal of the dock. You want to give us a little bit more background on that? Isabel?
Yes, so I think I updated the commission at the last meeting. The status right now is the original dock was removed and there was some confusion with the applicants. They understood that the dock was not in conformance with the regulations for lake management. So they did remove that dock. They installed the dock that they felt was compliant. They have been instructed to apply to LMAC or remove the dock. I know LMAC will be meeting later this month. I think it's Wednesday. I have not seen an application come in, but I did email them today just to check in and sent them a copy. If we do not receive an application, then we will further order them to remove what has been put in place. Typically, the Wetlands Commission approval process is not dependent on LMAC and Board of Selectmen granting approval beforehand. They can be done concurrently. In this case, I think while it's pending potentially before LMAC and Board of Selectmen, I still advise the commission to postpone action until either the dock is determined to be out of compliance with the LMAC guidelines and therefore ordered to be removed, or approved potentially, just to avoid any additional further confusion in the process here for the residents.
Okay, can Mary tell us what might be wrong with the one that's up there that they put in?
Oh, my goodness. I think Isabel's keyword was confusion. We, with Isabel, the town did notify, their dock was put in without permits, wetlands, and LMAC. The dock was too large in length and width or square footage by 50 square feet. We asked them to reapply and to meet with us so we could work with them. Instead, they moved forward and just took one section of the dock out, however, left now it's in conformance square footage wise with no applications being received by wetlands and LMAC. But what was not reviewed is they put the end of the dock in a T shape. And per our guidelines, we try to stay 25 feet or more away from the abutting property. The T-shaped part of the dock is infringing on that. It's 20 feet from the abutting property, and the abutting neighbor feels the way they dock their boat is harmful from a safety point of view for the swim area of their young children. It will be presented to LMAC tomorrow as to what to do, if we will leave it as is and try to mitigate something relative to the safety issue, or if we will ask them literally to take the T and just, how many degrees is that? I'm not a math major. Make it a straight 5 by 20 dock instead of a T-shaped dock. I don't know what LMAC's response will be to that. We will know tomorrow evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Good review. Okay, so we'll have to wait on that, I guess, until oh. Okay, anyway. We are on the next item, which is IWWC 2425-14, the application of USS Vineyard Solar LLC for site improvements associated with the construction of a ground-mounted solar array at 468 Route 87, and the site walk was done on 4/14/25. You want to give us a little background on how the site walk went, Isabel?
Yes, so we had again a site walk this past month to look at the location where the existing roadway will be improved. The conduit as planned is to go under the roadway at that crossing location at the very least, and then currently the proposal is that the conduit will be run alongside the rest of the roadway. The roadway itself is an existing farm road that goes up the slope to where the solar array will ultimately be placed. The solar array itself, there was some discussion, but the commission did not go to look at the location. It's outside of the review area. And really the most potential impact to the wetlands is the crossing there. And at the site walk, the commission members did request some additional information regarding the crossing and the electrical plans, and information was received and sent over to everybody as well. And then we have some representatives here of the project who can speak on their behalf.
Okay, very good. I know Ian asked a lot of questions, and who would like to speak? Either Mike or Dan Casper?
Yeah, thanks, John.
Very good.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. So since the last meeting, we've produced a flood analysis and a crossing spec of the culvert, which we have our partners at Westwood here to present on. But high level, as it pertains to the flooding, since we're enhancing and improving the area around the culvert, the road, and then the subsequent wire underneath the road, which will be encased in a conduit, it was determined that it won't wash away during a 100-year flood event, which is good news. So essentially, we're creating better protection here for the crossing from any flood event as a result of the solar project. So we should be in pretty good shape. I really want to iterate that the project will have no impact on the wetland itself. The height of the crossing, it's been determined that it will remain unchanged. So we're also improving the crossing's resiliency. So essentially, there will be what we think of as kind of a net benefit here from the wetlands perspective. But again, I just really want to reiterate and drive home that there won't be any impact to the wetlands as a result of the project. So yeah, I'd like to pass it over to Westwood, who has prepared these documents for us and can present on them.
Very good. Would you like to tell us what you found?
Sure. Thanks, Dan. Can you guys all hear me okay?
Mhm.
Yes.
Perfect. So we took a look at this existing crossing. The existing culvert size is 1 30-inch and 1 22-inch culvert. The existing flows to this location produces a 100-year high water level of 438.21 feet. And in the proposed conditions, we are expecting the same water surface elevation due to the crossing or the roadway remaining at the same elevation and no updates to the culvert inlet or outlet elevations changing. And then with the stormwater basins that have been implemented on the site from the solar project, we are reducing the runoff from the site, so no peak flows will be increased. In fact, they will be decreased with the addition of the stormwater basins on site.
Where are those basins?
They are within the solar array themselves.
Up high.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we analyzed the crossing itself for that 100-year storm event, and we found that the shear stress at that location is 1.88 pounds per foot squared. And that with the concrete, the 4-inch concrete over the roadway, that would have an allowable shear stress of 10. So having the concrete in place surpasses the design shear stress at that location.
I have one question. And so the hydraulic analysis showed that the present size culverts will adequately handle the 100-year storm event?
No, that is not correct. The culverts plus the enhanced cross section over the roadway will pass the 100-year storm. So the water will overtop the road in the 100-year storm, but the road will be able to remain intact. Does that make sense?
It does, but yeah, it does, but it'd be nice to have it not flood over the road. In other words, enlarge the culvert. But if you're satisfied, if you think that the road will remain intact, even with the flooding, that's your thinking, right?
That is correct. Yeah, we are confident the road will remain intact during the 100-year flood.
Isabel, have we received an updated site plan? I know when we talked, there was some discussion about where the conduit would be run. And in the upland review area would be under the road, but the plans didn't reflect that. Have we seen an updated site plan for that? You're muted, Elizabeth. Or Isabel.
Sorry about that. We did receive updated information, which I believe has been sent out to the commission with the packet as well. Let me just double check that you all received that today.
That was only a section.
Yes.
We haven't.
So every
So I guess there's,
the commission has received was forwarded.
so,
That one email.
so I guess the construction is going to go as presented. There is going to be the underwire conduit that's going to be portions of it that are going to be outside of the roadway area. And at the crossing, it will be within the roadway itself. So there's a cross section that was provided that does show how that conduit will be buried outside of the roadway. Far from wetland impacts, and there will be E&S controls on the other side of that to add some extra protection, but it'll be a direct bury. So it'll be a dig, bury the wire, and restore.
Okay.
So the way you see it on the plans is the way it's going to be, it's proposed.
So, and then my other question relates to that cross section. Can you guys present how you're interpreting the NEC to get the coverage that you need?
Yeah, I can take that one. Eric Elliott, lead civil engineer with Westwood. So any NEC code specifies a depth from existing grade for burial. If you include a 4-inch concrete layer within or between the conduit and existing grade, you can reduce that depth. So I can share my screen and pull up the cross section if somebody has it handy. So I guess starting for the area that we're not within the road section, will be a minimum bury of 36 inches, as Patrick was discussing. Then for the crossing itself, we will include a concrete cap of 4 inches above the MVAC conduit to reduce the total depth required per NEC.
So the NEC specifically with a 4-inch slab says no vehicular traffic.
Okay.
This is a road, correct? So there is vehicular traffic. As part of the NEC, under streets, highways, roads, alleys, driveways, and parking lots, you need 24 inches. Regardless of concrete.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think, Eric? Would that be considered like a publicly traveled road that's a lot of traffic on it all the time? I mean, this is a farm road. There's not going to be, once it's all said and done, where they have to drive some farm equipment up to the vineyard. I mean, Is that what that code is referencing?
So unfortunately, the NEC
I-
doesn't dictate whether it's light loads, heavy loads, it's vehicular traffic.
Yeah, I think we'll probably have to review that internally here.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think
this
there,
is-
yeah,
yeah.
is
So I
some,
just
is
want to
some
get an
source for
understanding of,
interpretation there.
yeah, I just want to get an understanding of how that applies to the inland wetlands regulations, if you could. Thank you.
So so this crossing is in the inland wetlands review permit or review area. To get the required cover requires more fill in the inland wetlands.
But I don't believe it's in the wetlands. It's in an upland review area.
Which is in this commission's review, correct?
Patrick, what were you thinking there?
Well, what I'm thinking is that, yes, it's in the review of the Inland Wetlands Commission because it's in the upland review area, but there's no direct impact to any wetlands itself. It's the road's going to be reconstructed appropriately with appropriate BMPs and ENS to protect the wetland resources, but there's no direct impact to the wetland itself. So
what is
depending on, I mean, to tear apart an NEC and a burial code for a wire that's on a farm road, I mean, that's for the commission to decide, but I think it's a little.
So in my opinion, what's being presented is non-constructible. So how are we supposed to weigh in on a plan that's not constructible? There's a method to do it, but it needs to be accurately depicted.
Is that something that they can provide you at a later date as a special condition prior to construction?
In my opinion, no, because it's going to change you're going to be impounding more water.
I believe, Eric, if you can speak to the road level, I believe it's going to stay the same. They're just going to change the construction of it, correct?
Yeah, Patrick, I think what Ian's trying to communicate is that if we need more cover to meet minimum requirements per the NEC, we'll need to raise the road elevation, which he's then saying will impound more water upstream. I would like to remind everybody, though, when we're talking about the size of the culvert and overtopping, our preferred method for a crossing like this would be to install a culvert that would pass the 100-year storm. The reason we are not is because we are trying to avoid wetland impacts through the culvert, like around the culvert by installing a larger culvert. That's maybe a little neither here nor there, but seems like our intention is clearly to avoid wetland impacts. And we are, trying to make it work with the design.
Yeah, so for me, I agree with you, like to overtop the road, not an issue, but if the commission, in my opinion, is being asked to vote on a permit that's in front of us, it should be constructible, it should be accurate to what will be built.
well,
So
Yeah.
I guess
I
what
guess
would-
we'd
go
like
ahead.
to see something on a print or showing what can be done here.
Understood. Yeah, we can take a deeper dive then
Okay,
into, you know, the NEC code, what we can do here with the existing culvert, and modify accordingly, or kind of go from there.
okay, I have a question. How did the nutrient allocation calculations come out? Isabel, did you have anything on that?
So right now, I don't believe that there was additional nutrient allocation work proposed. So the proposal as it stands, as it's been written, includes no real additional impervious area. So when it went through planning and zoning, and Dan, or Patrick, you may have memory of this. When it went through planning and zoning, I don't believe it was required to have any additional improvements for the nutrient allocation plan. I can take a look and see, just run that through our system on our end, but because there's been no significant change to the impervious coverage, that really wasn't applied.
Okay, well, I think there's like 7 acres of panels, and that's quite a bit of solid area.
Mhm.
And I was just wondering how it would compare with the rest of the area down there. I know that I understand that it was in a hayfield, which is great if it was, and that the people were planning to continue taking hay from that area, so that would certainly help.
Yes, yeah, I can go back and look at the zoning approval and see if anything was done for the nutrient allocation. I think that the solar panels themselves, the hayfield, it is a hayfield, you're correct. The commission during the site walk did not go up to look at that location. But if you're interested, I could also get pictures, if commission decides to continue, and wait for more information. The solar panels themselves are relatively spaced out, so essentially they've been treated as not pervious themselves, but the surface below them will be pervious. So as proposed, I believe it's not intended to be a significant increase in the runoff, just due to the spacing of the solar panels themselves, and also due to the watershed itself. The elevations in the field where the solar panels are proposed to do split. So a large portion of the field drains in one direction at the top of the hill. And I believe it's almost half of the solar panel array would drain in another direction. So it's not the full 7 acres either.
Yeah, and Isabel, to expand
that.
on that a bit more, the solar panels themselves are not considered an impervious surface due to them being raised up on piles, and allowing the water to drip and infiltrate to the soil below it. The water quality volume that is proposed on site does account for the access, the gravel access road and the transformers for the site.
Okay. Any other questions that anybody wants to bring up? Okay. If not, can we do we have a summary ruling for this at all, Isabel, or are we waiting?
I do have a summary ruling prepared if the commission, I can read it, to potentially be acted on tonight if there are conditions that you'd like to add, or you can also vote to postpone action and to request any additional information for potentially the next meeting, which would be the first Monday of June. So I believe that's what's that? I apologize, the 2nd. But I can pull that up. Really just have standard conditions at this stage, with space for modification for additional information to be provided, or additional considerations.
Isabel,
Um,
I would
yes,
motion that we postpone this so we can get additional information. I think that crossing is critical to the Wetlands Commission and they need to provide what they're building.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
so
Okay,
Mary, I think is Mary talking?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ian, could you just explain what is your concern so I have some idea?
So the proposed crossing where the culvert is, per current codes, would raise the road roughly a foot.
Right.
So as you raise that road, you're gonna be impounding more water. And as Eric and Mike had already done for the flow calculations with the existing, it proved that it doesn't cause any issue. But as you raise that road a foot, you're gonna impound more water. So that those calculations need to be done. And again, just to be clear, I'm not against what's being done. I'm not saying they have to change the culvert size. The permit needs to be depicted correctly as what they're building.
Thank you.
okay, well, we have a second on the motion. All in favor, raise your hand of holding it off. Okay, I guess we'll have to wait until next week and the information is provided and we can take another vote.
Thank you.
I think the vote was unanimous, wasn't it? Anybody?
Mary, I
Yep.
didn't see Mary.
Mary put her hand up.
Very good. Okay, so if you can prepare something to show us that it won't be a problem, we will accept it and take a vote on it next week. I mean, next month, next week.
Understood.
Okay. All right. So we'll go on to the next item then, which is IWWC 2425-15, the application of the Town of Columbia Department of Public Works. Oh, we already did that one.
We did do that.
Yeah,
Actually, I think, John, we inadvertently skipped item 7.2, which is
Oh, yes.
uh,
7.2
the
is,
application that was added to the agenda
Yeah.
at the beginning of the meeting.
okay, that's IWWC 2425-18, right?
Yes, yeah.
You want to give us some background on that?
Yeah, so I have very minimal background at this stage. But there's an existing building on the site. It's 233 Route 6. It's an existing commercial building. And they are proposing a commercial addition, which is 60 by, I believe it's 125. I'm just looking to pull that back up.
120.
120, thank you, Mary Kay. The building itself is proposed to go on area that is already impervious surface. It's an existing parking area. And there's some small improvements that will be occurring within the upland review area, but primarily the work to be as proposed is outside of the review area. It is adjacent to the Hop River. I believe the building itself is about 240 feet from the Hop River, so that is outside of our 200-foot review area. But a portion of the proposed drainage management is somewhat in the review area, and the surface level itself will be raised a couple of feet as well, just to meet grade for the proposed addition.
How large is the total area?
The total property is 4.4 acres. The new building is 120 by 60. Let's see. So it's quite large. That's 7,000
Separate building?
feet. I don't know what the existing building size is.
An add-on or?
This is an addition, yes.
Okay.
This is commercial, right? You said it was
Yes.
commercial.
The company designs and constructs commercial signs, and so they've decided to
Expand.
do the addition so that they can stay in the same location.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Okay.
What type of land is the rest of the property on? Is it wooded or is it grass?
It is wooded. It's all upland to the Hop River, and it's unimproved surface. So right now, the property itself, I can actually, let me see. pull up a-
Across the street from Columbia Ford.
Yes.
Right.
Um, pull up.
Okay.
And I'm
There
sharing
we
my
go.
screen here.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the applicants couldn't be here with us tonight because they had other prior commitments that they had to attend to for other public hearings for applications. But this is just on for receipt. So see, this is the building here itself, and the addition will primarily be in this already improved parking area. And then I've can pull up the site plan was sent to everybody, and I can pull that up in just a second as well. Share my screen again here. So as you can see, they're not really proposing any work in the review area itself, but because the existing grade has to be raised significantly, they will need about 300 cubic yards to meet the grade of the existing building for the addition. And then, sorry, it's fairly detailed here. So this is an overview of the site. This is the existing condition. There is the current building and the parking area. There's an existing concrete slab as well. And then the Hop River is greater than 200 feet. See, and that is the proposed addition, which at the closest point is about 240 feet from the Hop River. The review area is this dashed line here. And so really the only significant improvement will be a portion of this drainage, but then that does outlet right into the review area.
Isabel, with the drainage, and I'm looking at the plan, it looks like the building's sitting on top of a 15-inch RCP that they bisect. And there's two catch basins upstream that, and understandably it's outside of our review area, but there's two catch basins upstream of that feed in, that presumably feed into this retention area that I don't think is accounted for in their calculations. Because they don't show it getting there, but they bisect that pipe, so they got to do something with it. So if you can check with them to see. Is that,
Yeah, I will definitely forward that question to them as well. It looks like right now the RCP, the drainage area does bisect it. Right now it looks like it outlets over here, so that it does outlet right into the review area and close to the flood elevation.
yeah, I mean, the reason I'm asking is because if they're missing two catch basins for that whole side of the site, this detention basin may be larger than or may need to be larger than what they're depicting.
And I'll forward that information to them as well.
The impervious area looks pretty large. Do you think the nutrient allocation will be a problem?
I don't believe so. Actually, I don't think, I'll double check. I'm not sure that the nutrient allocation applies to this because the work itself, the parcel, I believe, is outside of Columbia watershed because it's in the Hop River watershed.
Mhm.
But I will double check. The building itself isn't an increase in impervious area because the existing conditions in the site. See, as you can see here, it is all actually currently a paved surface.
It's a lot of area.
It is. It's a large building.
So that's all parking area right now where the paved area is? And
Yes.
will they be expanding their parking area along with constructing the building?
Not that I know of. All I have is the application itself that I've sent to you today. Let me see. They are planning on using this existing concrete slab, potentially to park, I believe, a trailer that they have, a work vehicle. I'm not sure that they're planning any additional parking off-site other than what we do see here and here, for the new paved area.
Yeah, so no additional parking areas or
Not that I'm
expansion.
aware of at this time, but
Okay.
I will definitely forward that to the applicants in addition to Ian's question.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept the application and a second. Do we want to vote? All in favor, raise your hand.
Hi.
The application. So moved. And let's see, what else do we have? I think that, oh,
And if you'd like a site walk, I did speak with the applicants as well, just to check their availability.
okay. You think there's a site walk required?
It's up to the commission. You won't really be able to see too much, but it's generally helpful just to see it in person. Right now, this existing parking area is a little bit lower than the grade and of the upland area, and because that's being raised, that'll be shifting. So sometimes it's helpful to visualize that, but that's at the discretion of the commission.
Okay,
I think we should have a site walk.
okay. Very good. How about a weekday,
Hmm.
Monday?
Monday, let's see. Next week,
Yeah.
Monday?
What time? There's planning and zoning meeting that I have to attend
Oh,
that evening.
I think the last one you guys had was at 4 o'clock. So would 4 o'clock be okay?
Sure.
Okay. 4 o'clock, and so we shall go to the site and take a look.
Perfect.
Okay, very good. Uh, okay. Audience of citizens, we have nobody here, I guess. Any open discussion? If not, do you have, I know you got a couple of administrative reports, or at least
Yes.
one.
Yeah, just the one at
Okay.
48 Erdoney Road. There is, let me see. I approved a garage, which is detached from the existing building. It will be 24 by 28 feet. The nutrient allocation has been approved, and so some work will be done for that as well. Actually, to comply with the nutrient allocation, a substantial portion of the existing lawn will be changed to garden beds, which should be a good improvement for the lake water quality. And then there are also some additional trees that are near the lake wall that are being removed, which is generally not something that we require a wetlands permit for, just as a matter of course, but those will be done as well as part of the work proposed. The addition itself is over 100 feet away from the lake, and the site has been well controlled. They have an addition that was approved administratively a year or so ago as well, to the house. And so the garage will be somewhat in line with that. And there is very little potential for impact to the lake from runoff from that.
Isabel, where will the garage be placed? Knowing those two properties, Bill Life is a budding neighbor.
Mhm.
Part of his driveway, I think, is a right-of-way through the Goodwin's driveway. I'm just trying to picture and visualize where they're putting the garage.
So let me see. I don't have the,
They have a cottage right on the lakefront.
yes, yeah, I don't have the application up in front of me right now. Let me see. It's somewhat in line with the house.
If you face the house from Erdoney Road, left
It'll
side
be to the right of it.
to the right, okay. There is a stormwater drain with a swale that Jim Blair did a really nice job on.
Yes.
Is it gonna be in that area?
Yes, yeah, it'll be near that.
Will they be making any changes to that drainage? Or-
No, not currently. Let me see. They did just, as you said, Jim Blair just redid that
Right,
as part of the improvements that were required for the nutrient allocation plan when they did the addition to the house.
correct.
And so a substantial portion of what they're changing now to comply with nutrient allocation is really changing lawn to mulched beds. So
And
there,
where are they doing that? In front of their cottage? You,
there'll be a portion of it in front of the lake. Let me see.
okay, because they're putting a patio in also, correct?
Let me pull up the,
From my memory.
yes, yeah, there's an existing patio. I'm just pulling up that site plan. It's been a little while.
We had some inquiries this week because they're working on removing all the tree roots.
The trees, yep.
And inadvertently, I think, forgot to put in a silt fence and some erosion protection. But I think the zoning enforcement officer, Savannah, handled it.
Yes, yeah, I think that that's been taken care of and it's since been put up. Just pulling up here. So this is the
Where
site
are
plan with the approved nutrient allocation work to be done. Let me see.
Where's it,
There's a
Tony?
separate
Oh,
documentation showing all of the area that'll be changed from lawn to mulched beds, but it'll be in this area here. And then the
okay.
stone swale will be existing and there will be a path between the house and the garage.
A house and the garage and a path to their little cottage?
Yes, yep.
Okay. What type of path is that? Is that pervious, impervious?
It's semi-pervious, so it is better than lawn, I believe, with the coefficients that we do have in the nutrient allocation. It'll be gravel and flagstone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Very good. So I
Just
guess,
one more general question. When it was in LAR zone, lakefront property, did that require wetlands involvement or because I noted it was an administrative approval?
Yep, so it required a wetlands application,
Okay,
which can either be granted administratively or through the commission, depending on the potential impact. So I only approve
Okay.
things that will
I
have.
thought
a
anything on the
benefit.
lake required wetlands involvement, the entire team. I
It's
must be not,
anything in the lake or in the wetland itself does have to go to the full commission.
Okay.
Things in the review area, if they have no potential for greater than minimal impact, can be approved administratively. But
okay,
if the commission would like to see anything on the lake itself, then that's something that definitely can be employed in the future as well.
so there's some flexibility there.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's up to the commission to determine what you're comfortable with and then also what has that potential for no greater than a minimal impact.
Okay.
So that's the barrier by statute, and then it's also the commission's kind of comfort and interest in terms of what you would like to see for applications.
okay, thank you very much. We got everybody on the commission out tonight, and I thank you all for being here. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Second, all in favor, raise your hand.
Hi,
Have a good night. We'll see
Go
you.
Celtics.
thank you, John. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Good, Isabel.
Good night.
Mm.